country at the gateway to the Ozarks in Fairfield Bay, Arkansas. This is the Fairfield Bay Gadfly coming to you from the Flytrap Studio with the Fairfield Bay Gadfly Presents. Today, we'll look back at this day in history, uncover what is going on in the world, and reflect on how such happenings affect all of us. As I have previously stated, I'm constantly looking at designs and ways to improve this podcast. To that end, within the next few days, I should be coming to you almost daily. If I don't show some consistency in my productions, then I might as well not do them. But I have so much fun doing them. So, guess what? Each of you is now a guinea pig. Weep, weep. I promise to be gentle. Now, this day in history. On April 3rd, 1860, the Pony Express began its first run across the American West, starting at St. Joseph, Missouri, and ending at Sacramento, California. The average time for mail to cross the 1,800 miles of the continent was 10 days. Unfortunately, with the advent of the transcontinental telegraph in October of 1861, the Pony Express was no longer viable and ceased operations. Can each of you imagine news of the country and the world taking 10 days to go 1,800 miles? Now we get upset if our computer speeds are slow for any reason, and we can't receive our news in milliseconds. Oh well. Just sit back and take another sip of coffee or adult beverage and relax while you listen today. On the international scene, Ukraine, again. Vlad the Impaler Putin's troops seem to be getting their butts kicked, which is what happens when you send poorly trained troops into a life and death battle. We are seeing daily reports of events on both sides of the issue, but people sometimes seem to enjoy body counts and burnout vehicles and buildings. Thank people. For those of us who do not have to worry about when the next barrage of Russian rockets will hit, think. It's not beyond reason to believe at some point it could happen either here or, say, Europe. Wars have a nasty tendency to spill over into neighboring countries. Also, Ukraine has now attacked a base on Russian soil. Turnabout can be fair play, but an extremely dangerous game. Personally, I have questions concerning the media-crowned, quote-unquote, good guys of Ukraine. Let's don't forget, Ukraine has been identified as a cesspool of corruption, particularly on the international energy and money laundering sides. President Zelensky has presented a valiant portrait of Ukrainian pride. But do we truly know whether he is his own man and government, or are the energy oligarchs behind both? Time will tell. I hope it's not the latter. However, for the poor citizens of Ukraine who daily have to wonder whether or not they will see the end of each day they wake up to, our prayers are with you. And we are all Cossacks on a national basis. I don't know what will turn out to be the worst. Merrick Garland as U.S. Attorney General, or if he had been confirmed to the Supreme Court. The liberals are clamoring for Garland to increase the intensity of his review and prosecution of persons involved in the January 6th riot. Yes, riot, not insurrection. As long as the liberals continue such high-tech pursuit of those involved in the riot, the more they diminish the action. Since they have not pursued the perpetrators of the riots in Minneapolis, Seattle, and various other Democrat-controlled cities. Their refusal to admit such actions require prosecution trumps, no pun intended, their actions against those who participated in the D.C. riot. On a lighter note, the U.S. Navy will name a U.S. Navy ship after former Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The USNS Ruth Bader Ginsburg, T-AO212, close paren, will be a John Lewis-class replenishment oiler ship designed to carry fuel to the Navy's operating carrier strike groups. Apparently, all ships in this woke class are named for quote-unquote leaders who have fought for civil and human rights. In that case, shouldn't they all be garbage scows? Moving along to a sad note, Bill Fries, better known as C.W. McCall, who wrote and performed Convoy in January of 1976, has died at age 93. That was a time of the change to a national 55-mile-an-hour speed limit and average American resistance to such change. It was a song that stated American individualism. Our prayers to his family. Finally, the national media needs to get past the publicity stunt at the Oscars this past week. As far as I'm concerned, if you're in a polyamorous relationship with your spouse, you shouldn't defend your spouse's quote-unquote honor because neither of you have any. Now, to the state level. Well, the Arkansas Municipal League had their 2022 winter conference this past week, as evidenced by the absence of our city council members, where the use of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds by cities was discussed. Locally, our mayor had previously indicated that such funds could possibly be utilized for the repairs at our conference center. At that time, I went ahead and did some background research and found that such funds could possibly be used for that purpose. A panel of attorneys, which is scary, has stated that the funds can be used to pay for a range of government services such as roads, cybersecurity, health services, environmental remediation, and public safety. That's a whole bunch of different ways to spend our money. Let's hope it is well spent. COVID cases within the state have continued to drop, with no more than 10 new cases per county of Arkansas' 75 counties. COVID is now, and has been for some time, endemic, which means it will be with us from now until the end of time. Deal with it. On a local basis, here's where I tell all of our out-of-town listeners, if you don't care what happens in small-town America, you can leave. However, I know most of you do have an interest in what happens elsewhere. A great move has happened with the Fairfield Bay Area Chamber of Commerce move from the community club leased Lions Club building to their new facility in the town center. Congratulations to Chamber Director Jackie Sykes and all of the Chamber volunteers. It's unfortunate that the club forced the Chamber out of the Lions Club building. But this is a case where when one door closes, another opens, and personally, I believe this is a great move for the Chamber. I would like to remind all Fairfield Bay citizens who are members of the community club that the annual elections for 2 board of director positions are up for your vote. I encourage each of you to consider all of the candidates and participate by voting. Whether you realize it or not, this is one of the most important elections in club history. Please take the time to mark your ballots and return them to the club offices. Remember, elections have consequences. Thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in today. As I move forward with both the Gadfly podcast and vlogs, as I stated, I'll be making some changes and tweaks to ensure you know what is going on in the world, nation, state, and local. This is the Fairfield Bay Gadfly, bringing you truth from above, and signing off for now.